Hey guys, you're watching Guitar Shop TV. Coming up on this episode, we sit down with rock blues giant Johnny Winter. We check out a celebrity Les Paul, and we hang out with our latest Artist Showcase winner, W.D. Hahn. This is Guitar Shop TV, the show that takes your axe to the max. Welcome to the show. Our next guest is a true legend. Over the years, Johnny Winter has been a guitar hero without equal. After he exploded on the scene in the late 1960s, he emerged as one of the most respected guitar players in contemporary blues and rock. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Johnny was the unofficial torchbearer for the blues, and today he's enjoying an unparalleled resurgence, performing to sold-out shows worldwide. We sat down with Johnny after his return from a sold-out tour of Japan for a wonderful chat. Hey guys, Guitar Shop TV, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here with the legendary Johnny Winter. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you just got back from an incredible sold-out tour in Japan. Was that last week?
Yeah, it was really nice.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was the first time we'd ever been there. We played 3 shows in Tokyo.
How did you find the crowd?
They were great.
Yeah?
They were great. They were really responsive.
You're working on a very exciting new project. Just tell us about it. You're recording some of the legendary songs that you grew up on.
Right. All songs that I really love.
Tell us about the project.
No, it's just a lot of different people. Jimmy Reed, Ray Charles, T-Bone Walker, Elmore James, Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters. Those people that I loved, Larry Williams.
You got some exciting guest artists on the
did.
album. So who's sitting there with you?
John Popper from Blues Travelers playing harp. Derek Trucks is playing on it. Susan Tedeschi is singing. Warren Haynes.
Wow, you guys this is an all-star lineup.
But it's a lot of fun. The Conan O'Brien's guitar player. What was his name?
Vivino, Jimmy Vivino, yeah.
Jimmy Vivino,
yeah.
Right, he's played on it.
You are one of the legends, and you came up through Beaumont, Texas, and big fan of Muddy Waters. And what was it like when you finally got to work with Muddy? I mean,
I loved it. It was just great because I'd always loved his music.
And how did that all come about? I mean, that was...
Well, the guy at CBS, Ron Luxembourg, came up with the idea, and then Muddy's manager, Scott Cameron, thought it'd be really cool, so he asked me if I'd be willing to do it, and I thought, of course I would. I'd love to.
But there was a famous story, I think it was in Beaumont, Texas, at a club called The Raven, if I'm not mistaken. You were playing with B.B. King, and you were just a young guy, right?
Like 17.
And do you want to just tell us what happened?
Well, we came in with only white people in the club, and he'd been having tax troubles since he thought we were from the IRS. He thought we were coming to get him for his taxes.
He wanted to throw something at you.
No white people came in there.
Was this you and Edgar?
Yeah, and a couple of the other band guys.
Okay.
And I really wanted for him to hear me play. I really wanted to see what he thought of me, and I kept sending people over asking him, and he didn't know if I could play or not. And I think he was just so glad we weren't going to get his taxes that he said, okay. He finally let me play, and I got a standing ovation. It was just great.
You've always been a big Gibson man. Firebird is obviously, you did that signature model at Gibson. What are you using nowadays? Are you still pretty, in terms of guitars and amps?
Well, the Laser for my regular guitar and the Firebird for slide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're using straight Fenders?
No, Music Man.
Music Man.
Music Man, I mean, made by Fender.
What are you using for acoustics nowadays?
Got an old National. They're as close as you can get to an electric on acoustic. They're the loudest acoustic guitar you could get.
So have you had any advice now, Johnny, to give to the younger players?
Always. They just listen to as much music as you can and play and practice and jam with people as much as you can. That's the only way to get better is listen and play.
And who are you listening to now?
All the old stuff. I don't listen to anything modern. I listened to as many different people as I could and incorporated all the ideas and tried to play them my own way. Mm-hmm. I never wanted to sound like one person.
Mm-hmm.
because they're already there. It doesn't do much good to copy anybody, but I learned from just about everybody.
Did you feel like, you know, the slide guitar was, the slide techniques was a big influence on your playing?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But I was probably 22 or so before I even started playing slide. There wasn't anybody around to teach it. I just had to learn from listening to the records.
Wow.
There's nobody around where I was played slide at all.
Wow. You're still active with the slide using the Firebird?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's a special thing, and you know there aren't
Yeah,
that
it's
many.
completely different than playing regular guitar.
Yeah.
There's no similarity at all.
You tune to an open E chord, or
Yeah, open D,
Open
or
D.
sometimes open G or open A.
Great. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank
really
you.
appreciate it, and hope to have you back on the show sometime soon.
I'd love to.
Wow, what a cool guy. Thank you, Johnny, for sharing some time with us, and best of luck on your upcoming CD. It sounds amazing. Our next guest is guitar expert extraordinaire, Richie Freedman. Richie's family got into the music business in 1922 when his grandfather opened what was probably the first ever vintage guitar store. His family continued the tradition and opened several stores in Manhattan, one of them the original We Buy Guitars on the city's famed Music Row, West 48th Street. So stay tuned for an absolutely fascinating and exclusive conversation with the guitar dealer to the stars, the one and only Richie Freedman.
Behind me there's one of Ace Frehley's guitars.
Yeah, I see that. That's quite famous. I mean, he's toured with that one extensively.
Well, he has a bunch that Gibson made up for him. The 59 that I sold him back in the day, I bought back, and then I sold it to another dealer, and that dealer sold it to another dealer, and a friend of mine got it back, and there's still offers to this day for recently to $600,000-700,000.
Wow.
And that was the 59 with the wide flame.
Right. God.
This is one of the Gibson custom shops made. Ace, I think they made 12 or 13 for Ace specifically a certain way, and then they had the production model.
And look at the headstock. When you saying that's his face and mother of pearl inlay.
And with memorabilia, when I do memorabilia, I prefer to always get good documentation. There's a picture of Ace with the guitar.
Look at that.
You get a letter from him stating that was his guitar. I purposely gave him the balance in a check so it would go through his personal account with his real name on the back.
Look at that.
And on the back of this one, he was kind enough. Ace had done one of my songs, which was called "Back in the Streets." I wrote with Vinnie Casano, Vinnie Vincent, and he wrote on the back, "Thanks for writing Back on the Streets."
Wow.
Which was a song that Kisser did, never came out. John Norm did from Europe, and Vinnie did it on his album, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. But it hit, really good provenance.
That was a gorgeous axe.
Thank you.
You don't see those pearl, the Grovers with the pearl.
Pearl tips.
Pearl tips.
Ace used to, in the old days, Ace used to buy Les Paul Customs, and I used to have to find Grover pegs like that with the pearl tips. And I used to have to take all the gold parts off for him and put, a lot of times he'd want just regular Marzias put in, and he'd want all the gold off.
Wow.
So I'd have to put nickel or gold or chrome hardware on for him.
Thank you, Richie. To learn more about this amazing guy, visit webuyguitars.org. It is incredible.
I'm Chaz, I'm the bassist. I'm Spence, I'm the lead singer. I'm Cal, I play the guitar.
And I'm Leah, and I play the drums.
A couple of months ago now, we released our EP, Into the Blue, which we're very proud of. And so that's what we've been working on. So we're now playing out a lot in the local Tampa Bay area and then looking to go on tour early next year. So that's the plan. Well, my first influence is Hendrix, definitely. I heard Foxy Lady and was hooked immediately, and so now I have over 300 Hendrix songs. The gear that I use, I have a John Mayer Strat. It's awesome. And then for that particular song, I used only the Fractal Audio makes this thing called the Axe-Fx. And at the time I had the Axe-Fx Ultra. I now have the Axe-Fx 2, which is even better. But I used all the tones through there and tried to get the kind of classic rock, kind of vibe that I like so much. Can't really speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure we all like that classic rock vibe. And just kind of trying to emulate the pedals that I had previously, which were full tone pedals. I love that. That tone is awesome. That kind of vibe is what I go for.
You guys having a good time tonight?
Playing Wembley would be awesome.
That'd be alright.
Yeah, I guess that would be pretty cool. So, just like a big stadium, like awesome, lots of fun.
I'd like to play any kind of a packed house back home in Australia. I think oftentimes for Australian artists or people, it's making it in the US. It's a big deal. I mean, obviously success in any form would be a blessing, but I'd really like to play a packed house with my friends and family around in Australia. That'd be really cool.